What's up, everybody? This is Henry Fleischer here from the Cannabis Dispatch, also the CBD Business Networking group on Facebook. And I have two very special guests today on a different part of the cannabis supply chain or part of the industry. I have Melissa Dorgan and Lacey Showalter of Gen129 Consulting. So tell us a little bit about what Gen129 Consulting is.
So we joined forces together. We've got years of accounting experience, bookkeeping knowledge, and we have taken our love of cannabis and decided that we are going to use our skills for the love of the plant. So really what we do is we go into dispensaries, grow operations, and just help them get their books organized, help maximize their tax deductions, and get them really going on a good path forward.
Oh, so your main clientele is like the dispensaries and grow operations. You have you do accounting work for CBD brands and other parts of the supply chain as well.
Oh yes, we help with anything CBD, hemp, cannabis related. So yes, we absolutely will. We touch every facet of the industry.
So you guys got into this space because it's like, hey, we want to apply these skills for just because you love the plant so much, correct?
Yes, we have developed not only friendships, partnerships, and everything else through this plant. And yeah, we love the plant. We love the health benefits that it brings. And it's just brought a bunch of people, like-minded people together. And so we just want to take our skills and our assets and help the industry as much as we can.
Yeah. And when did you guys merge to start Gen129?
So we recently merged to start Gen129, but we have been working together for probably a year now, on and off, just mentoring and working separately. But just recently we have merged to become Gen129 Consulting.
Oh, wow.
Strictly for the cannabis industry, yes.
Yeah. What was the toughest thing you went through when you first opened up?
Just dealing with the cannabis nuances, the bank regulations, the different compliance related issues that people have, those type of things. We see also as accountants because we're servicing the industry. And so those are kind of the things that we also can help our clients with.
Yeah. And is there a specific law that's like, hey, this is the biggest hurdle we got to go through?
There's not one particular law. As everybody knows, cannabis is illegal federally. So therefore, with the IRS, there are few and far things that you can deduct for tax purposes. And so we really go in. There are, for cannabis specifically, there's the IRC 470 that you need to follow.
Yep.
Going to be your 263A that you'll need to follow as far as inventory goes. So those are kind of the IRS regulations that we follow. Now, there is still gap in those regular accounting standards that you have to maintain regardless of which industry you're in. So we still maintain those. But as far as cannabis and hemp, there are certain inventory regulations that we do have to follow.
Oh, well. Oh, okay, cool. And yeah, another thing for you as well, too, like knowing everything you know now, is there anything you would do differently if you had to start from day one again?
Start with more connections. The more people that you can be connected to, the better off you're going to be. You can utilize those connections for a variety of different things, whether it be like we have partnered recently with an insurance person who can make sure that all cannabis clients are compliant with insurance, whether it be general business insurance or workman's comp insurance. Those are things that we have partnered with, again, through the love of business, the love of the plant. And it's just facilitating those relationships. Make sure you've got a good plan in place, make sure you've got your relationships in place. and you'll really hit the ground running.
Oh, that's great to know. And what would you say is the toughest part about being an accounting firm for this vertical in 2021?
Oh, having people understand our value. So we go in, a lot of people think that bookkeeping is just you're plugging numbers into QuickBooks or whatever accounting software. QuickBooks is probably not a good one because of the industry. But going in and understanding more of what it is that we can tell. So we're not just plugging numbers in. And I would say that would probably be our biggest challenge as accountants, is getting our clients to understand what it is and the value that we are giving with that, because they understand the cannabis industry. They understand how to do what they do. But the back end of it, there sometimes is it's kind of swept under, or it's just more challenging to explain in layman's terms for everybody to understand.
Oh, okay.
So that would be our biggest.
Oh, wow. And if there was a client was to choose between your business and 3 others just like yours, why do you suggest they give you a try first?
Again, we've been in the industry. We have studied the details of these IRC codes. The Internal Revenue Codes is what the IRC stands for. And so we get in there, we are fully involved in your business just as much as you are, so that we can make sure that your business, again, is staying compliant, that you're capturing all of those tax deductions that you can, as minimal as they are. And we really get involved to help the businesses that we work with not only grow the business, but also grow personally with their personal growth, their personal investments that they want to do and things like that. So we really help all the way around.
Oh, awesome. And what's the number one way you currently bring in new clients?
Just networking, really. That's been our number one, word of mouth, networking, and doing events like this, doing interviews like this, really has been super helpful. That's how we get most of our clients.
Oh, wow. So yeah, has the internet played a big role then in your business as it has become more prevalent?
Oh, yes. For instance, I live in Missouri. My partner, Melissa, lives in Texas. And we are able to do everything online. We're able to partner, even though we're halfway across the United States, which is great. So the internet has helped us gain clients. It's helped us get our word out there. It's helped our partnership, our friendship. It's kind of a backstory about Melissa and I and how we even met was through Facebook. So yeah, the internet's played a huge role. We wouldn't have been able to do any of this without the internet.
Oh yeah, that's awesome to hear. And if you had to take a look 6 months to a year down the line, where would you like to see Gen129?
We would potentially like to see our clientele so we go and visit our clients, and we would like to have clients in 6 months lined up waiting for our services, because we are that good in what we do. We are that passionate about what we do. And we would just like to spread our name and let everybody know about what we can offer their business. You run the business, we'll run the back end of it and help you out and make sure everything is organized and easy to find. So yeah, in 6 months, we would like to see our business kind of stack up some clientele and almost have a short-term waiting period for us to get out there and really visit our clients. Like I said, we really like to get involved, and so that's a passion for us.
Oh, wow. So yeah, what would like an ideal day to day look like for you in terms of responsibilities? Like as your business grows, like do you want to be more of a manager type? Where do you see yourself?
So we see ourselves, my partner and I, definitely more of the face-to-face interaction with our clients. We want to be the name, the face that you see, that our clients see. We are managing partners, so we will have employees that will help us on the back end of it, but our clients will mainly see us, have the communication with us, and be in contact with us, and then we would pass on that information to anybody that would need it.
Oh, well, and um, what cannabis laws do you expect to be passed soon that could affect accounting?
Oh, well, obviously, if it becomes federally legal, that's going to change a few things. If it's dropped from a Schedule 1 classification, that would be huge. Obviously, states to states, if we could get some sort of federal regulation that made it the same across the board, because right now every state has its own rules, regulations, compliance related things that they go through. And we would just like to see, I don't know that there's anything really out there right now. I know the Senate is going through bringing up declassification. They're not going to make it legal, but they'll declassify it off the Schedule 1. So that is waiting to be looked at in the Senate, I know. But beyond that, each state is kind of doing its own thing. I know Texas was going up for something. I'm not exactly sure if they were trying to make it medicinally legal or if they were just trying to make it under an ounce. I'm not sure exactly, but I knew they had something that kind of stalled. Melissa, you might be able to give a little more detail on that.
Yeah, the Compassionate Act, they actually upped the limit and they added PTSD on there, not just for veterans, but for anybody that has PTSD, and they upped the medicinal limit from 0.3% to 0.5. So that is a win for Texas right now. I mean, it's better than nothing.
New York just recently made it legal. Of course, they won't be able to start doing anything until 2022. But yeah, states all around are jumping on board. So we're excited about all of that.
Oh, yeah. So I think one thing I thought was interesting. So Texas raised that THC limit to 0.5%.
Yes.
Oh, that's good to know too, because like usually if you some states say, hey, oh, if you have above 0.3% in THC, you got to destroy the plant. So that's good to know. Like,
right. It's only for patients that are approved through the Compassionate Act. So there are restrictions on that. But that limit has been raised for the patients.
Because like that's like the one challenge I'm seeing too. They're saying, oh, you got to limit the number of THC, the amount of THC in the plant. But I see it like with alcohol, they don't limit how strong it is.
Right.
It should be the same thing. And where else? So what's the biggest tax deduction a cannabis business could deduct as well?
So the only thing, because it is federally illegal still, the only thing that you can deduct is cost of goods or inventory. Inventory / cost of goods, I should say. You are able to, there's the gray area there where you're able to capture some indirect expenses, some payroll that you can include in that. But again, you've really got to look into what is going on in the business. Does it make sense? Is this truly a cost of good inclusion in the inventory, whether it's somebody working on the plants and their salary going into that? But that's where the cost accounting comes in. That's where we look at it on a weekly basis, just to make sure that we're capturing all of those throughout your business processes, throughout your time being in business. And that way we can put those on your tax return. They are few and far between, but that's why it's so important to really start from the beginning so you can capture all of those and maximize those tax deductions.
Oh, got it. And when it becomes federally legal, what do you see the biggest tax deduction becoming for those businesses?
Oh, I see it. You'll actually, if it becomes declassified, it'll actually become like any other business, I believe. I don't see the, I mean, they're still going to be tracking like metric and things like that. They'll want, but as far as tax deductions go, I believe you'll be able to claim all expenses at that point for the business, as long as it's declassified.
Oh, cool. And what's the biggest expense you've seen from cannabis businesses, just out of curiosity?
Oh, Melissa, you're in the books.
Right now, startups trying to get licensed is a huge thing. You have to have, it varies by state, but you have to have a certain amount in escrow. You have to have a certain amount of liquidable assets. And I know in Chicago, I was talking to a client the other day, and there the license started out at like $100,000. I mean, so those are some of the biggest upfront costs that we see. And I would say labor's then another big one after they actually do get going, because it's so labor intensive. You have a lot of people that you have to have on board, security, you have to have master growers. So it just kind of depends on what vertical you're in, but labor is a huge thing after initially getting up and getting those licenses and renewals put in.
And sales tax. The sales and use tax is another huge, because with the marijuana businesses, they are extra taxed.
Oh, yeah. I think too, like, yeah, oh yeah, insurance and getting those licenses too. It is a hefty investment to start off too.
Yeah. And we just want to protect that investment for you. Let's hit the ground running.
Yeah, I was actually talking with a grower yesterday. He's in Washington State, and he was saying like some people buy these licenses and don't use it. So like we were discussing like, hey, if you're not going to use that license in like under a year, like you should forfeit it. That license gives to somebody who's actually going to use it. I think states should operate something like that as well too.
Absolutely. Well, and I know here in Missouri, so we're only medically legal here in Missouri, but we have had some that were denied their licensing and now are fighting the state. And I believe it was residency requirements that they were fighting on, but they had everything in place. Right now, it looks like they're winning this case. So they might end up getting a couple more licenses up and going here in Missouri too.
Oh, wow. So yeah, so what advice would you give to somebody thinking about starting a business in the cannabis space?
Oh goodness, make sure all of your ducks are in a row. Make sure you look up all of the requirements for the licensing. Make sure you understand, make sure you go to an attorney. I would actually recommend taking all of this information to an attorney and having an attorney work with you to set up your licensing correctly. That would be my best advice.
Oh, another question I got for you guys too. So which states are your clients in? Like, what, you operate nationwide? Is it only certain states that you can take on clients?
No, we operate nationwide.
Yep.
We do anything in the United States. Puerto Rico, if you're a U.S. territory, we're there. So yeah, we will help anybody nationwide. That's the great thing about the internet, is we can do that.
No, yeah, it's very true. It's like we're talking right now too because of the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah. Are most of your clients concentrated in one part of the country, like Midwest, South, West Coast?
No, they're all over.
Oklahoma's really big right now.
Oklahoma's really big.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's huge.
Right. The licensing fees and everything are a lot cheaper there. So right now, I would say a lot of our calls are coming from Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
we've had some from Illinois, New York, since they're starting up. We've had several from there, some from Arizona. So we've got them all over.
Yeah. I was like, because you guys mentioned Oklahoma, I'm surprised Texas hasn't like jumped on board, like making something similar to Oklahoma. You guys neighbor Oklahoma.
I know, I'm surprised too. It shocks me.
I mean, Texas is such a big state too, but you have like, because there are parts of Texas where if like Texas is known as a conservative state, but then you have people from more liberal places moving down there to like Austin. So I'm surprised
Right.
they're not swaying enough of the vote.
Right. I mean, I completely agree. You know, now in Austin, I believe you can have up to 2 ounces on you that is decriminalized in Austin and in Dallas. But I don't understand. You have all these other towns in between that, you know, it's not, it's still illegal and they don't care how much you have on you. So it's shocking. It's strange down here in Texas.
No,
I think they're waiting for it to go federal.
you think that's what it is? Because
I think so.
Virginia legalized. They were the first southern state. I was surprised with what it was in Texas or Florida. I thought like we'll see though soon though. I thought like once Virginia legalized, it's like, hey, that's gonna be a chain reaction across all these southern states. I believe some more are opening up medical programs too. I think Louisiana just did.
Louisiana just opened their medicinal program and they're doing great over there, and that's 45 minutes from me.
You're that part of Texas. Oh, you're not that. Oh, what? And I think Arkansas too. They opened up their medical as well.
They did.
Yes, they did. Which is great. We love all these states hopping on board. Now, if we can get federally, we'll be golden.
Yeah, I think it should be sooner rather than later. If they see how much revenue is being added to the economy, they're like, hey, we have to let's squeeze all the juice out of the orange. Let's make sure all the pulp is gone. Make sure, hey, we're gonna make as much juice out of this as possible.
Yeah. And that's why the tracking will always be required by the government with metric or whatever inventory tracking system that the government decides. I think that will always be the case so that they can make sure that they get their tax revenue. But I think as it becomes legal, the restrictions on it as far as your tax deductions, those will loosen for sure.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. Yeah, just like I'm waiting for that day too. It'll be a big celebration once that happens.
I know, we're gonna celebrate too.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like the one thing too. I want to make hopefully like all the regulations are really fair and set too. Like I know it's like on the CBD side too. There's some brands out there that don't go through the whole compliance of getting their product to the best quality. So hopefully there'll be more people care about like the quality of their products, making sure, hey, they know the farmers, they have good relationships with the farmers, they have good relationship with the extraction labs and so on.
Well, one of the things that we have actually we've reviewed a little bit with the cannabis industry. They are looking into starting the good manufacturing processes, GMP.
Yep.
And those are going to be extremely important going forward. They want to make sure that these products are produced in a safe environment, that they are done consistently the same over and over. And I think the government is going to put their thumb down on that pretty solid once it becomes federally legal too.
Yeah, but I think like what the government should do, they should consult with all the industry experts, and then the industry experts give them all the recommendations about what to do.
Exactly. Now, it's the government, so I don't know that that'll happen, but
yeah. Well, I think too, there'll probably be a new branch of government saying to oversee the cannabis. I don't know if it could be similar to ATF, but
that's what my assumption would be. Yeah, they're going to have something.
Oh yeah, of course. So yeah, how could somebody reach out to you guys too? What's the best way to contact you?
So we are on Facebook at Gen129 Consulting. We're also on Instagram, or we've got our cell phone number, our business cell phone number on there on Facebook as well. So you can call, send a message, text, however you want to do it.
Oh, awesome.
So we've got all of our information there on Facebook.
So, yeah, it was great having you on. If there's any new developments in your business, or you're definitely more than welcome to be back on.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you for having us.
Bye.
Thank